how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater, and today is episode 3 of Half-Scaped. We'll have Shelby, Chance, and Brian here in a minute as they get in and settle down. They give me the thumbs up. I'll let it know, or I'll know that it is time for them to come on in. Today's episode is going to be all about Hardscape, and here we go. Chance is ready. How's it going, man? And Brian, you look like you're ready also. So how's it going, guys?
What's up?
And those of you new to the series, Chance, he's our guy from Aquascape, and Brian Covey, he's over at Aquachar, and with Shelby, who is setting up a little special something for tonight's stream. She'll be over here. The four of us make Florida Scape Team, and we're here to answer everybody's questions, go through tips and tricks, talk about some hardscapes we've done in the past, and some future hardscapes that we've got planned and worked out. So how's it going, guys? Any updates this week you want to bring to the table?
It's going good, man. I got a few things coming up as far as like walks planned in the future. The Florida Aquatic Plant Club is doing really well. I just restarted that back up. We had a good turnout for the first meeting. Gonna do a walk over at Riverbend either this Sunday or following Wednesday. I haven't decided which yet. I'll be over in your neck of the woods the 16th, 17th, and 18th for a dog show, so we could link up and go like plant hunting over there maybe for an hour or two.
Yeah, man, for sure. I got a little bit of time on my hands, not a lot. It seems like the club meeting is coming up on us really, really fast. I got all the details and everything for everybody. It's on my phone. Shelby's using my phone right now. But yeah, no, that is still before we leave, so it'll be all right.
Nice. Yeah. Hopefully have some time. We'll see.
What about you, Brian? How's it going? Anything good? Oh, we can't hear you, Brian. Hold on.
We need to.
Okay, there you go.
How's it going, man?
So I literally left the show last week, and I was out. I slept for like 3 days straight.
What, did you do the Florida frag swap?
No, I wasn't planning on doing that one. I did one with them not too long ago, in February, so I was going to space it out.
What show did you do then?
No, I was sick. I was out.
Oh, the live stream last week.
Yeah, I left the stream. Yeah, live stream last week. So yeah, I've been down and out, just finally getting recovered. My wife has it now, so it went through our whole family. So
that's a bummer.
Oh, that's never fun.
No.
And Shelby, you're back. I left chat wide open for you. Would you like to help us catch up here and say hello to everyone?
I'll try. How you doing, everybody? Is that good?
Yeah.
How you doing, Jamie? And we got Jeffrey Brown in the house.
What's going on?
Leah, Jimmy P,
Hello.
And Dr. Anthony. Welcome.
How's it going, everyone?
Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish as well. How about that?
That's Dr. Anthony or Dr. Mazdaral. I'm sorry if I butchered the last name. I hope I said that right. But you could also call him Dr. Amazing or Dr. Awesome. Either one of them will work.
Right.
But yeah, no, he's been in our stream before, and he's got a great effort going on, and maybe we can have him on as a guest in one of our future streams. But
I agree.
Very full of some great knowledge, and he's doing a great thing over there in Peru. So, and him and Alex, I need to do some more research about it, but they're doing a little fundraiser. I think they're trying to raise $1,000 for the research center. So I gotta put something together here with Shelby, but we want to help raise some money and donate to those efforts. So I was thinking like 10% of the sales or something from the website will go towards that until they meet their goal. So
Yeah, if you could drop a link in the comments too.
I'm not sure if one of our moderators is around right now, but if you guys are able to or can pull up one of Dr. Anthony's links with Alex. I'm not sure if it's even going yet. I know Alex was talking about it on one of his last streams, but there's just so much been going on. I haven't been able to watch as much YouTube as I was when I was down and out. But like today, we got 2 bags of shrimp. I got Shelby some golden calcios, and they came really late in the day. And actually, they I were at the tracking and said they weren't going to be here until Friday. So I said, all right, kids, let's get ready and let's go head over to swimming. And we were about ready to walk out, and the mailman walked up, and I was like, oh man, I got to take care of these shrimp. And they were warm. The bags were like 85 degrees. So I was quite happy I was there and home to take care of them and get them acclimated. So there wasn't that bad of a loss.
I'm gonna try something with my lights really quickly. Hold on. I have I control my lights on my phone for my scapes. That's how I use the timers and stuff. I do the CO2 on the same app. But is that better?
No.
No. All right.
Dial it down maybe a little bit, but
it's T5. Yeah. So
okay.
There's no dialing it down.
So do you want to do the Aquascape contest in Dallas, man? Take my offer and just let me take the tank home?
I'm thinking about it.
Because that kind of decides on whether or not I'm going to do it. Because if we drive and there's guaranteed that I'm going to be bringing home 2 tanks, then I'll have 3 of them, and I can set up like a nice, I don't want to go 4 high. I'll go like 3 high with those. So I still have room to work on each Aquascape, and I can redo the tanks in the hallway and just set up a really nice corner for those scape tanks. So if it's something you want to do, man, let me know. I'll cover the cost so that way I can get the gear from it, because that's definitely worth it.
What all do you have going on at Dallas? Are you doing a table?
Yeah, we're doing a table.
Are you doing the contest?
We're running the contest, and that's why I don't know if I'm going to do the Aquascape or not.
So I don't know, man. Orlando was a lot because I had the stuff from Oase, I had the YouTube contest, and then our contest.
Right.
I kind of want to enjoy Dallas a little bit and more network. You know what I mean? Like get more stuff squared away. I didn't have any time to talk to anybody like when I was there. Yeah. And then like the free time I did have, I was trying to keep my sanity. So
we kind of made plans for it to go a certain way at Chicago, and everything kind of backfired with Eddie's daughter getting sick. So I didn't have Orlando. Eddie on Sunday. Oh, I'm sorry. So like Dallas, I'm just gonna plan to make it for ourselves, and like I don't know if Scuba Steve, if he's gonna be in Dallas, maybe I just set it up so that on Saturday he or Ruben, but you know what I mean, somebody to run the table for the time while we're scaping on Saturday.
Yeah. And
see if
can you give me like how long do I have to think about it?
I don't even know when sign up is due and stuff like that. You've got plenty of time, man, because they got to pick the people to enter, and there's a certain date. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the things I was kind of pushing for was that we get the chance to win some prize money for Dallas. So
yeah.
So a couple more people snuck in while I was gone. Hello, Arctic Winds. I don't know if I said hello to Jamie. I think I did.
Yes, they're the very first people here.
And hello, Richie and DJ Owen.
Hey, maybe I can talk to somebody and get my entry fee squared away. Actually,
I still wanted the tank.
Well, we'll see.
But yeah, no. if nothing, I'm still gonna set up something for us to set up the tank. I was gonna do it today, but we ran out of time. We've been doing a lot of swimming with the kids. The kids are actually getting really good. Jaden swims at 25 now in 26 seconds freestyle.
I don't know what that means, but
sounds fast.
Layla will swim backstroke 25 in 32 seconds. But she also swims the exact same time in freestyle, and most of the time she swims it slower. So there's definitely something wrong going on. But
she swims better backwards. That's all.
But backstroke was both Shelby and our best stroke overall, so it just makes sense. It's bred into routines. But then the other thing that I thought maybe we'd go into and talk about is your current scapes that you guys got going on behind you. Brian, do you want to take the floor first since you haven't had a lot of vocal time?
Sorry, I missed. I was coughing. What did you say?
Since tonight's topic is about hardscape, you guys got some hardscape.
Yeah.
I've got
my skate park shirt
lined up, so I'll have Shelby go after Brian, then Chance will go, and while Chance is going, then Shelby can move the tripod around to my tank, and then I'll talk about mine. But Brian, the floor is yours. How do I do this the right way, though?
Okay, we talking about hardscapes? Practice. Yeah, so my favorite hardscape material. I mean, I'm a big stone person, so I like big, bold stones, things that you can kind of get the depth and bring it up close to the glass. So stones is usually I'm a fan of the off-brand kind. There you guys are.
I'm just trying to make it so you're the larger one and me and Chance are still there so we can talk because you couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this.
That's a fine.
I'm trying to figure it out, but keep talking.
Yeah, so I don't know. I usually have to buy a lot of extra stones to be able to scape. Well, any type of material. I got a bunch of manzanita wood. That's probably my favorite driftwood to use, I think. But spiderwood's another good one. But again, I think that a good bold rock work, the wood can be a good accent or I don't know. A lot of people start off thinking, how do you get like do you go bold with the wood like Chance's Scape, or you start with the stones and then add the wood from that mentality. So yeah, this is my current project. I'm going to start working on it while you guys talk next. And but yeah, from a hardscape.
What's your goal for tonight? My
goal for tonight?
Yeah.
I've got some ideas with some of the bigger stones. I'm just really struggling with the placement of those big stones, and then I can do the detail work from there. But I got some ideas I want to play around with tonight. From kind of like I'm planning on getting rid of the arch type of mentality and stuff like that. It's just it's too distracting. It doesn't give it really any flow, I don't feel like. So
you want to go through and talk about the hardscape itself, what kind of rock it is, what it does to the water, etc. Or do you just want to dive into scape? Because my scape's the exact same stone, and I can talk about it.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about the stones and everything like that. Because like honestly, for me, it's more about I got good water, so I've got as long as I can keep up with my water changes and filter maintenance, and everything runs smoothly, and I really don't have too much of an issue with that. But yeah, like I was saying, I always when it comes to aquascaping, I kind of usually start off more stone heavy, get that into place. Once I get a good structure or at least a flow idea, I'll start integrating some wood. But I always tend to start off with either favorite pieces of wood that I want to use or favorite stones that I want to use as my focal point, and kind of work out from there. So yeah, usually once I get the main you know, I'd say flow, but you know, you kind of get what you're talking about when you just get the rocks, the main rock situated, the main position, the focus points of your tank is right for you, and the detail work starts to become fun. So that's my goal for tonight: is start playing around and get the flow going. Something that I'm happy to start like really thinking about and working forward with.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing what kind of improvements you make to Escape. It's definitely been interesting seeing it go from not much to you doing a lot of work in one night. Now you're going to destroy it and do something new. So the journey is quite nice so far.
Well, so this is and this is kind of crumbled down. I moved some rocks around, but like when I did the first scape, the heart one, I brought my daughter out there, and it was worth all of the extra effort. So
right.
Nice.
And thank you, Jamie, for putting up the link for the Fish Family Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish Research. The link to everything. So we were definitely going to try and help and support that. So today's date is it the 8th?
Mhm.
All right. So for the next however many days until this project is done, 10% of our sales through the site tgoeshrimp.com will go towards meeting that goal. So definitely, if you don't want any shrimp, reach out if you can and donate to their cause. I think their goal is just $1,000. So, but their project is definitely worth it. And there'll be many more chances in the future to donate as well for future projects. So it's definitely a good cause. All right, Shelby, you are up. Here we have Shelby's tank, and then we'll just remove you guys just for a second. Figure out how to do this. I really wish it would be the other way around. But all right, so I guess we'll add you guys back to the stream. But there is Shelby's Scape from the Florida State Fair that she's set up. It's set up in February, and it's looking really good and grown and mature. I'm going to talk about it and not let you say a single word. But no, you go ahead. I'm going to adjust the camera.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Oh, at the tank. Okay. So welcome in, Big Dog and Mountain Greenery.
Hey,
You
everybody.
guys snuck in. So to kind of discuss this tank, of course, he already talked about when we set it up. We did put different shrimp in this right now, but to discuss the hardscape, which is why you're all here. Hardscape is one of the things I struggle with the most. I'm really artsy to begin with on paper, and I love to draw and do things like that. But when it came to structure, and my mind and creativity just don't go together. So it's been really hard for me to get things to actually stay in place. I've built some pretty big scapes before. I have big, grandiose ideas that tend to fall apart. The tank from last year ended up crumpling on the way to the Florida State Fair. All the sand shifted from out underneath. So one of the best things that you want to work on is getting your hardscape to be hardscape, not softscape, and slide all over the tank when you move it, especially. Most likely you're not going to be moving your tanks, but this one is a solid 10. We've hit some bumps on there. It's not going anywhere. So what I did to do this one was actually
made it all the way to Tennessee and back.
Yeah, and to the Florida State Fair and back. So it really made its way around the world here. But the Dragonstone is that they won't see if I point at it. The stone at the bottom with the holes in it. Obviously, when you want to work with rock like this, you're going to want to wash it out. You could use a hose and wash it really good. Soak it in a bucket of water. But I usually just take the hose and spray out the holes. Use a little fine toothbrush to get into there because they will have clay buildup. And I mean, it's not necessarily bad for your tank if you cycle it, but it's just better to do. And then what I did was I obviously put a little layer of sand at the bottom here and then put the rocks in place and made a foundation under the tree. So those rocks are all the way down and they don't move. And then when I put the tree in, I even nudged more rocks in the hole so nothing moved. A lot of times, like I used my last scape, I had a bigger rock that I put in the corner of the tank and it was really nice, but it had no support to it. And there was nowhere for the sand to stop sloping behind it. And to make that big mountain, you have to have support. So they're all together in the sand and the rocks are all pushed together really, really tightly. There's just no budging that at all. And you won't see under the big tree in the center is actually another rock that it's based on, because if I didn't have that, all the sand would disappear too. So then you lose more structure. But there's a lot of rocks you actually can't see either in the back. And there is another tree nudged in the back left corner over there with the little moss. It's really hard to see. The light is really dark.
Yeah, you don't even know that there's mapani stumps in there. They are
Two of
so
them.
densely covered in moss. So the hardscapes are not just the rock here. We have the mapani stumps as well.
Yeah.
Or Shelby does. I'm talking like I'm taking credit for it.
Yeah.
The back stump.
It's okay. But yeah. But if you get the scaping down, that's the main thing, is just getting that support. Everyone will tell you. I mean, you'll have a lot of fails before you have success. And we have had those beautiful arches that we did in Aquashella Orlando would not have been able to stay together if we didn't use the thermoplastics. So that's another good thing to try if you are trying to do something really cool that seems to keep falling apart, which will happen. Always put cardboard in your tanks too, so you don't scratch them.
Speaking of thermoplastic,
There you go.
if you scape with a team and then you take your rocks home with you, you can go commit crimes because you have their fingerprints. So I'm going to go commit some crime, either Chance or probably Shelby.
Well, no, you just walked away with like $10 worth of thermoplastic.
I know, right? Can you mail that back to me?
Yeah, I need that. No, we need to buy like a big bulk container, because I think that's like one of our. And then when you set up the tripod and you move it, you want to drop a blood for the fish. Drop a blood. Frozen bloodworm cube. Oh man. But I was really proud of Shelby for that scape. And it made her really cocky, because the second she got done and set it up, all right, the head lady of the creative center living area comes up and goes, "I picked this one. This one's gonna win." And I'm like, I only put some rocks in my tank, and I'm like, "You haven't even given me a chance yet." And she's like, she's gonna win. But yeah, no, that really set the bar, and I knew how high I had to jump. And you'll see in a second here, I'm gonna jump over the bar a little bit. But I don't know where Shelby went, and then Chance disappeared. Chance, you're up, buddy. Your water in your bowl. Did you make it into that contest, by the way? They're not here with me, so I'm going to dive back into chat. And no problem, Dr. Anthony. It's something I wanted to contribute to, especially since you're donating to Super Chats on our channel and you're a member. I want to give back. So and it's for a great cause. So, all right, Chance, you're up, man. Talk about it.
I got to turn on the scape cam. Hold on.
You were supposed to have that ready.
Dude, cover me. Talk some more about some more things and stuff.
Hey, I got an idea.
Oh, all right.
So how do you? So when you're building a skate, and I think a lot of people might find this question useful. How do you guys make sure that your substrate doesn't fall through your rocks and everything like that, like through the holes? Because once you fill it with water, I'm sure we've all done this so many times. Once you fill it with water, it ends up seeping through your substrate and stuff. So, yeah, want to get your ideas on that.
So over the years, I've become really good at packing, like making hills and stuff like that. The aqua soil really holds up really nicely. What doesn't hold up is like the soft, tiny sand. Like the smaller the granules, the more it's like marbles and wants to run down the hill. So you got to treat it like a filter. You want all the big hardscape on the bottom, and then larger rocks, then medium-sized rocks, then small rocks, then your really tiny rocks. And you got to make sure everything's set in stone before you do the final dust layer of your little tiny, trails and stuff like that. And those are always things you can touch up with once it's flooded. You can take a little pipette or something like that and fill in the gaps, or you can put plants in those spots. So, but
I never rely on the
definitely-
to hold in place.
we definitely learned our lesson from going at the first aquatic experience contest to like some of my tanks now have barely any substrate on them. So Chance is ready to go. I'm gonna come back to that, Dr. Anthony. Go for it, Chance. Can you hear us? All right, well, until he says something. Dr. Anthony says, I swam breaststroke until junior year in high school. So I didn't start swimming until my senior year of high school, and that's where I met Shelby, was on the swim team. And the only stroke I can't do is breaststroke. I can do it. Like if I need to do a medley or an IBM, I will still win the race, but everyone is going to pass me on the breaststroke section. And then when I come to back, fly, and free, I swam a 56-second 100-meter or 100-yard freestyle and a 19-second free. And then backstroke was a minute 6 seconds, and fly was like a minute 10 or something like that. But then breaststroke was so slow, and it's been passed down genetically. My kids can't do breaststroke either.
Is it fixed?
Yep, we can hear you, man.
All right, cool. What's going on?
Timing.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man.
So this was something I did at Sirio. Stone that we used sorry, I'm tripping over my words here for a second. The mic
stone is Brian.
Mic thing threw me off. So it's the same stone that we used in the scape contest. Not the same stones, but the same type of stone, so same composition. I'll let Grant talk about the water part of it. I mean, I'll touch a bit on it, but I mean, if you keep up with your water changes, and for like in my purposes of scaping, it doesn't really mess with me at all, because I do a lot of water changes with good water and stuff like that. That the composition that does change, it doesn't throw anything off really for me. If I start to lack on it, it does up the KH a bit and things like that, but that's not a big deal. But structural wise, I mean, I'm really big on arches. They've been something that I've been working on for a while. I actually got into a chat with Jeff Miyoki and a few others on structure. Actually, Jeff Miyoki and Sean Murphy on structure of an arch and stuff like that, and we went over a bunch of pictures of natural arches in nature, and it's just a really cool structure in my mind, and I just drawn to it. So this one I was going for like a combination of spires and arches, two things that I kind of just am drawn to in nature. So a lot of my scapes that I do are reflections of things that I'm like attracted to that are actually exist. I'm not too great at pulling whimsical things out. Like a lot of my scapes come from inspiration that I've seen in either pictures, photographs, or like actually have been to and seen, and not necessarily like a mountainscape. Like this could have been a root structure that I saw out in a mangrove field that caught my eye, and then I replicate it with rocks. So like I more so see the world in angles and lines rather than what they really are. So that's kind of what I translate the scape into. So yeah, like this could very well have been mangrove root structure or whatever. This particular one is actually a picture that I took of Grandfather Mountain. There was this similar arch with some spires that just led me to this. But yeah, so that's this one. If you notice, there's lots of like planting space up front. This one I had planned on only doing like 3 species of plants though. I'm going to do one giant cryptocoryne spiralis red in the back there to kind of flow over and complete the flow of the arches. And in the front here is going to be glossostigma. And then over here, I was thinking of just doing some limnophilia, Helfrey Vietnam, the nice small limnophilia. So
quick question before you move on, and I forget the spiralis. There's a green or normal variety also, right?
Yeah, there's the green variety. That's the common one. Yep.
All right. Does the red one, when it grows immersed, doesn't really show any leaf structure changes, right? It's kind of like normal leaves for a crypt, but taller.
Yeah, I mean it can actually get the same size submerged over time. There's no morphological difference between it immersed or submerged, though. No.
All right. I think I might have some red spiralis then growing outside. I think those were the crypts I got off of you, and I couldn't remember the name or something like that. So
I gave you a spiralis tiger. So
will they look red immersed?
No, unless you fry them. You gotta really hit them with light, like under no shade cloth out in the sun, or if you put under like a nice full spectrum LED, they'll get some color.
No, they're underneath the shade cloth for sure. So
just pull one and submerge it and hit it with some light.
Yeah, but with the Clydophora issue I'm having outside,
yeah,
happen. But I'm restarting grow bins.
Good.
Like I've got 5 or 6 little buckets, not really grow bins, but it's so hard to catch the neocaradinas outside in the tubs when I have the plants in there. So I've been getting rid of a lot of the plants.
Yeah, the plants make it rough to catch any kind of fauna. That's why fauna use them to hide in nature and stuff like that.
How's it going, Jeff Kane?
So
Richie said awesome scape. How's it going, Zen Ginger? And then Jamie said use filter bags of soil. Brian is going to be using bags of aquachar instead of filter bags. So you're muted, Brian. On you, mate. I unmuted you, mate.
Yeah. I think they were talking about, so like building up the subs. When you're trying to build up the substrate, like I've done that before. I'll use like the Amana or the ADA bags and stuff like that and cut a piece of that plastic out. And I'll use that as kind of a barrier to make sure I don't get like some major bleed through, especially those areas like down at the bottom where you're just going to get that. I don't know. You just got to plan ahead for it. And if you do plan ahead for it, you can prevent that fall through.
All right. Back to you, Chance.
So this is a bowl that I did, and actually we were just talking about the slopes and aquachar. Brian, I used aquachar in this to do the slopes. So yeah, this is just a bowl I made out of dragonstone, and then there's some manzanita in there. And a little bit of spiderwood as well. It's recently been flooded and planted. I just have some Bucephalandra brownie eye ghosts leaf form in there, and then some HC Cuba up top there, as well as just other various Bucephalandras. But it's just a cool feel. I haven't done many bowls, and they're really fun to do. I had a lot of fun planting it in the back.
Is that a cobalt filter?
Yeah, it is.
Huh. I might have to do that with mine. I have one from like the micro cube tank kits.
Yeah, it's just fun to sit here and watch, man. Like it's a little tank. It's really chill. It has like the water flow vibe.
Did you make it into the contest?
I couldn't find where to enter it, so no, I didn't.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's all good. This is your moss. I got this moss from you. If I can.
Is it the hooker moss?
Looks like some small section.
Yeah.
I think it's hookers.
I don't know. But so we'll go over to this one. This is the last one I'll share with you tonight. I have one more little.
Well, while you're moving, we got another spot for Brian.
Sure.
The Zen Ginger says, does he use any egg crate or light diffuser or anything to disperse the weight of the large rocks? Or is it all placement, substrate, and cross the fingers for bottom glass strength?
I'm not worried about bottom glass strength. Usually, I might not be the right person to ask if you ask Grant, but that's a whole different story about big rocks and glass.
No, he's not worried about glass strength at all,
No,
let
that's-
alone
So,
bottom.
so from my
Back
experience and expertise,
panel, send it.
from my experience and expertise, I don't really worry about the bottom panel. If you maybe have some big structures, like some big heavy stones, like boulders and stuff, and you're worried about like dispersing that weight, you can use. I've used it before on big heavy scapes, like 125s and stuff like that. But I don't see very much use in the light diffuser underneath the stones and stuff. I usually just use substrate.
Yeah, I was gonna say what we usually do at the shows is a light layer of substrate underneath the big rocks.
So I used under this. There's egg crate underneath the large stone on the left, and a piece of egg crate on the right, and then a bag of aquachar underneath the back left rock. But I'm just cautious. It's a 60U. It's not very thick glass, but you don't
Not thick glass like the tanks Brian needs.
So like
This one, yeah, this is a half inch.
compare this. Compare this.
Yeah.
One. So here you go.
That's the tank from the contest, right?
This is my custom 120p.
Oh, okay.
Compare this glass to this
Yeah.
glass.
That's not Brian proof.
This is, hear that?
Yeah.
Totally different.
Right, as Jaden would say, it's thick.
It's thick, yo.
It's thick.
All right, so this is my last one. That's actually kind of cool with the light ring in the background. So this one here, I got inspiration from this actually from a picture of a stump. So like, if you look down at a stump, the head stump kind of spired and split, and there was some really cool moss and stuff thrown off of it. I just had this like, my brain went somewhere to where it's like, man, if I was like able to shrink down and like stare through that little gap that I took a small picture of or whatever, like what kind of world would I be able to create like in my head? So I kind of went there with this scape, and this is where it took me. So in here, I'm going to do a lot of different, more difficult, colorful plants, kind of crossing over into like Brazilian style as well, with like, as far as what I'm going to do in the background. It's not fully done hardscape wise because I'm going to be doing more as plants grow in to complete what's going on in my head.
All right.
But for the most part, it is. The backs will be like a bushy rotala that I'm going to basically trim up to match the mounds here. The top's going to be Gradiola Vicidula, which I can grow in a carpet just by like really trimming it short, and then actually grow epiphytically up things too. You can encourage it to grow up wood and stuff like that. And then basically a really awesome Utricularia and then HC that I'm going to spread across the bottom here with sprigs of this really awesome Eliocharis that was collected in Florida by Sean Murphy. Really cool. It gets like super long and then grows like tufts of other Eliocharis on the top of it. So like like really awesome character throughout the tank.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite plants. And I'm also going to add some of the 3-rib arrowgrass that I found in Florida here to it too. Just because I'm looking for plants that kind of have like a weird sporadic growth to them that aren't really normal, just to kind of complement what this is, along with other rounded leaf plants, more trimmed and properly, you know, actually like trimmed and in neat order to contrast what the chaos that Escape is. But the coolest part about it is when you take a picture of it, like the final shot, when I do it, it's gonna have a heavy reflection from the top down. So it's you're just imagine the spires inverse each other with the colors down on each other as well, with just a beam of light from the tunnels. It's gonna be a really awesome scape once I finish it. My holdup right now is actually water. I'm just trying to figure out how to get water from the RO reservoir, which is like 50 feet outside, to the inside with the current situation that I'm dealing with pump wise. So we'll see. But that's it now. So I'll go ahead and dip out of this one and go back to computer mode.
I think my phone just died.
I don't know how to do that.
You need to set up your phone.
I don't know
I
how to
love the different color of wood that you use, Chance, though. Really makes it pop.
So
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to talk about, since Shelby just brought it up, was when I first started aquascaping, I kind of like listened to some rules, and one of the rules that was set out there was you had to use the same type of stone in Escape, and I kind of agree with that. Unless you wanted to do like a valley or something that came together, you could technically do two types of aquascape hardscapes coming together, because that does happen naturally. But the wood thing was one of the things that I kind of adapted to a lot easier, is because like almost everywhere you go, there's more than one type of tree growing in most circumstances, unless you got like some highly invasive species of plant or something like that. But definitely liking the different two-tone colors, and I'm not too against using two different types of wood at all anymore. Bring up Chance again. So we'll head back to chat. My phone died. It was set up to go to the next tank, but
I took a long time. My bad.
no, you're good. It's my fault. I probably should have been more prepared. I kind of jinxed it, because I thought in my head, I was like, I think the phone's gonna die like mid me talking about it. So I'm actually happy it died like while you were talking and not while I was on its topic. So real quick, going back into chat. Hey Jeff Kane, I'm not sure if he said hi to you or not. Spaghetti Nona. Oh my God, Spaghetti. That's why Shelby's here. My dyslexia. As soon as I said it, I was like, I know who that is. Why did I read it like that? How's it going, Killer Kitty? Sweet Shot, and then the Zen Ginger. I'm terrified of weight ending up on one small point of rock. I used the plastic canvas you get for cross stitch at a craft stores, and I glue it under the rock structures, and mine are small. Not a bad idea. I've never had an instance where the hardscape cracked the bottom of the tank. Shelby set up one tank and it cracked the side, but we didn't move that tank before we set it up. So I'm not sure if it happened on the move, or if maybe she tried to move two rocks aside and pull them apart too quickly. And then we got Crypt Keeper. How's it going, man? And I did see where he said, I like that layout, Chance. So
Thank you.
behind Chance. And then Jeffrey Brown, my gosh, my new 5-gallon sprung a leak while I'm watching this. Well, he says he's good now, but hopefully the 5-gallon tank is under warranty, and
yeah,
that solved and returned and get a new one for you. Oh,
Right.
just jumped on me. Xanadu, how's it going, man? I don't know if I said that right. That sounded right. Late again. Love your streams and thanks for sharing. Chance, that tank will rock. Definitely. Did you have a purpose for that tank? Was that going to be like a
We'll see.
or
We'll see.
okay.
Not as is. It will be something once it's finished, but not as is. It's a long way from done, and I'm taking my time on it because I'm kind of enjoying building it. I have an actual hardcore vision that I'm really going for. So I've torn it down to move things around a lot. I mean, you guys saw the earlier stages that I sent you pictures of and things like that when I was first building it. It's completely different from what it originally started as. But I keep liking things, and then I sit here and stare at it, and I dislike things, and I move vines, and I remove stuff, and I move like a single pebble or whatever to make it look different. It's just right now I'm focusing a lot on detail. That's been like my goal this year. Like my personal goal is actually is detail, is strong detail. So I'm going for that aspect. I don't care if I get anything entered this year. If it comes in next year, that's fine too. I don't care. I don't mind.
Yeah, I kind of got like this urge and feeling like I want to do something for one of the not the Livescape, but the bigger competitions. But at the same time, I did the really nice tank for the fair. We did the really nice tank for Orlando, and we're going to be competing possibly in Dallas or Chicago. And I don't want to use up all my good ideas. You know, I got a couple that I know I want to execute, and I think they're really good ones, but I don't know when I want to use them. I'm going to save them in the holster.
Well, this one over here was going to be, and still might be, I'm not sure yet, CChem, but I may enter that one in the AGA just to throw it in there. If I can get it flooded, if I can figure out this water debacle that I'm going through right now. So
are you going to AGA?
Yeah.
In Chicago? Is there an Aquascape contest there, right?
No,
not
that I know of.
Okay. We're also going to the Keystone Clash, which is the week before AGA, and we'll be doing an Aquascape contest there. So
nice.
And we did the one in Aquaticon too, even though that one was more for fun. It definitely didn't. It wasn't like anywhere close to a WASI, even where you had enough Aquascape to choose from and work out. So I kind of set the scape up to like how it would look in the future, and it was judged on how it looked right then and there. So
yeah,
I got the last pick of all rocks, all Aquascape, and plants. But I think it would have made our judges possible. So Shelby said I only got 10% on the other one, so I'm bringing that up. So here's my other scape. I'll bring that up just for a second real quick. Oh, sliding over. I was just bringing it up just for a second. This was my tank for the Florida State Fair. It kind of took its toll when I brought it from the Florida State Fair all the way to home. The very next day, I brought it to Aquascello, Orlando, and our table was set in stone. We knew where that was going to be, but the tank itself was going to be for Carib Sea's booth, and I didn't know where they were going to wanting it set up, and because I had shrimp in it and livestock, I had to set it up right away. So we moved it from our table over to the Carib Sea, and then I had to bring it home. So it was like set up and filled with water like 5 different times, and there's no CO2 or any of the aqua soil. I don't fertilize or anything like that. So a lot of my foreground plants took a hit. It was like a competition tank. I set everything up for it to look great right away. So some of the foreground plants have been replanted in other tanks with aqua soil. But it's the same Hardscape is Brian's, and the first one that Chance showed, the Siru Stone or Mountain Stone. This is actually like a mix of both, mostly Mountain Stone, but a couple of the really textured faces was Siru Stone, and then I kind of blended them together by covering up some of the veins and markings with the Weeping Moss. And you want to catch up on chat? Where are we at?
I don't know. I left. Did
All
you
right.
say hello to Aquaballs and Brandon?
Nope, I did not. So we are at Aquaballs. How's it going, man? George, saw your stream with Matt earlier today. Learned a lot about you, man. It was really cool to watch that and get that, I don't know, playing while we were getting some things done around the house. And then, how's it going, Brandon? How big are those tanks? So, Brian, how big is your tank, man?
It's 120, 75 probably.
75 gallon?
Yeah, 75, 80 gallons.
Chance, how much was the first? How many gallons the first one? Like 11?
The first one, no, that one's 60 U's, so it's like 33 gallons or something like that.
Okay.
The one behind me is a 120p. I'm not sure on the size of gallons in it. I've never actually measured it by gallons. I think it's
Bigger
like
than the approval tank, right?
yeah.
So like 75? Probably
It's-
like the same size as Brian's?
It's about yeah. What did you say yours once, Brian?
It's like 70 or 80. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's around 80.
What about the
I have
jar?
I have it written down in my notes for my FERTs, but I can't remember. I don't have it off the top of my head.
The bowl.
The bowl. So the bowl's like volume is 5 gallons, but the actual water that's in there, I only was able to fit like 2.3 gallons in there. So there's only like 2.3 gallons of water in there.
Yeah, the hardscape. And like in my tank alone, it's like a 13-gallon tank or something, like 15 and a half. But I probably only fit like 10 gallons of water in there. And then, Shelby, how big was your tank?
This is a nearly scape tank.
It's a 10-gallon.
10 gallons.
Yeah. So, not very big tanks for all of them, but the two that Chance and Brian are working on are definitely monsters.
Much harder to escape.
Yes.
The big tanks. I mean, I don't know. That bowl was kind of a pain in the butt. Like,
Yeah,
if
well,
you-
that's an awkward shape.
if you have like like nano stuff for me is always difficult because nano, like, that's kind of why I'm focusing on detail. Like if I had the equipment and the, I guess, knowledge, admittedly, right now I'd be dabbing into like some really hardcore nano tanks, like Indonesian style nano tanks, where these dudes are taking like 8-gallon tanks and they're making them look like 100-gallon like megascapes. Like that's the type of work that I'd like to work towards a little bit. But I'm not ready to take that dive yet. Like it's easier to pull off big detail in big tanks. Like
We need a plethora of mini plants too to help that out.
Plants or whatever. Like I even the Indonesian hardscape contest, like it's really cool to see like their bare unplanted 8-gallon hardscapes that look like they're taking a photograph of some massive canyon. Like it's just it's something else. Like that's only because that's all the space and the equipment that they have to work with. So that's what they work with for like ever and ever and ever.
Right.
So I mean, but in this world, in the big tank world, it really is easier to pull off detail in a larger environment.
Like
You can
the
scale
appearance
down
of detail.
so much easier.
Like I remember like as far as competition tanks go, like I remember going up from like a 3-foot tank to the 4-foot tank, and it even that extra foot is a lot of extra work. Like you think the extra space is helpful, but then you think like it's hard to keep your proportions in line. So like you think that you could fit that big piece of driftwood because you have a big tank, but like once you start filling it in and putting it together and stuff like that, there's both of them are like it's hard to like really focus on the details, like you said, like with the small Indonesian stuff. Like those are fun for me too, because on the small nanoscapes, like you can really put your detail into it from the standpoint of you having a consistent flow, I guess, or like you know.
I just think it's easier for the smaller tanks because finding the right hardscape's a little bit easier because you don't need those big, massive stones with all the detail. You can have that smaller stone that has a ridiculous amount of detail and use it in a smaller tank, and all of a sudden it's the main focal point. So that's all I was saying. The bigger tanks
You
are
fall in
harder
love with
to
big
make
stones.
focal points.
Yeah.
So Jamie said, anyone ever enter escape with an old rubber boot or beer bottles? I just want to add to this because when you were just talking about like bigger tanks, I really think it would be more interesting to do a non-traditional scaping where the tanks cannot be square or normal. They have to be like a triangle tank, a weird hexagon tank. Like those things are extremely hard to scape. So I think it would be funny if someone did a competition where it's like that, or like a weird vase or something you have to scape that's like all wiggly. Like that, it'd be pretty cool. But
I said don't. I'm sorry. So with back to Jamie's remark, we haven't had like rubber boots or anything like that, but with the Aquarium Beautiful contest in Florida, they went through and entered a tank full of trash. So it was kind of like the trash is taking over kind of thing to bring attention for it. But then the other thing is like the Florida Aquarium or someone has a bunch of bags to make them look like jellyfish to show how bad the trash in the ocean is, and to show how the turtles make it look and stuff.
So I've always wanted to do a natural Florida biotope. If you live like anywhere south of Lake Okeechobee, you can relate to this. Of like a Walmart shopping cart and some Natty Ice cans sitting there with like a nice
alligator,
with a nice Inspilum cichlid or big old what are they called? The Central American giant ones.
peacock bass.
No.
Arapama.
No. Wow. Midas cichlid. The Midas cichlid.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Midas down here. Yeah. So that would be if I ever had to do like a cheesy intro to a Florida biotope, I would probably do something like that. Just a bunch of invasives, and the whole top of it would be covered in water lettuce, giant water lettuce with a water hyacinth.
Yeah. My trip to Holland when we went and did the scape contest where we paired two people together. Sean McBride actually, his scape was basically, he saw that we were scaping outside the tank, so he just pretty much put beer bottles all inside of the tank and outside the tank, and said that it was something. There was like 12. They just started collecting their Heineken bottles and just scaping with those.
Was it? That's funny. No.
Yeah.
So we got another person joining us tonight. How's it going, Tim?
What's up, Tim? How you doing?
And then Jamie said if you took the filter out of the bowl, it would make a nice centerpiece for a table.
Yeah, I'm working on a better hookup for a filter right now. Actually, somebody sent me this cool design that I can run it off of a sump almost. So I'm gonna hook up that bowl to a small like 5-gallon cube underneath it as a sump, and I'll be able to plumb the hose to keep that waterfall effect off the side of the bowl, so you won't really see it as much. But that's like pie in the sky dream right now. I've got a lot of other stuff with the nursery that I'm dealing with. So if I ever get like super ADHD and get hyper focused on wanting to trick the bowl out, that's what'll happen.
My son's, one of my son's my kid's teachers, she has one of those bio orbs in her classroom. So in like, what was it, December of 2019, I went and like scaped her tank, put a bunch of plants in there for her beta, put a bunch of bags of aquachar. So like those are all bubble driven. So I just kind of put the aquachar like underneath the rocks by the bubbler. So it still got the flow and everything like that. And then COVID happened. So that thing ended up lasting for like 2 years without any water changes or anything like that.
Jesus.
And they came back and it was still crystal clear. I mean, and it was heavily planted. It was a bunch of like, crypts and stuff like that. But when it's one beta and I put some shrimp in there and stuff like that, like she was amazed at how well it worked out and stuff like that. But yeah,
Nice.
But those bowls are fun. And especially in tanks like that, like if you're scaping it, like you could take those little like air driven filters and stuff like that and just put the aquachar in there as a primary filtration, and it makes it really easy to set up a scape that way. Just having that filtration and that flow through helps a lot. So that's always an option.
So, Brian, you done with Escape for tonight, or what's going on?
I was talking to you guys, but yeah, I think I'm done for the night.
So you want to talk
Soon.
about what you've done? What's your plan?
I don't know that I got a little bit more of a plan in my head, but I don't know if I'm ready to really explain it because I don't know if I'm going to go with it yet. I'm actually thinking about maybe switching out stones and doing something different. But yeah, I'm going to think about it.
How's it going, Dark River Aquatic?
Did Brian?
I don't know.
You did freeze up for a half a second here earlier, but other than that, it was all right.
He got
I
better
get myself
internet,
on.
and I got rid of the killer mosquitoes. You guys don't see me raving anymore.
Well, the only problem is if the viewership goes down, then we're gonna have to switch back to our old model.
Then y'all are gonna have to crowdfund for some freaking malaria anti-vaccines for me or something.
I don't think malaria is an issue. What was the other one?
There's Zika. There's all sorts of goodness. I don't.
No, malaria actually kills a ton of kids in Africa.
I don't want it.
That was a big. It's neither one of those. That
Encephalitis.
Encephalitis. I think that was.
There's all sorts of them, but I don't want any of them.
Yeah. I don't even hear about it anymore. We don't watch the news, so
I don't either.
I have no idea.
But I know mosquitoes carry disease, and I know the way to avoid disease is to avoid what causes the disease. Mosquitoes.
Yeah. So when our neighbor first moved in across the street, they knew we had tanks and ponds and everything like that, and when they got the mosquito issue, they assumed it was because of all of our tanks and ponds. So they called mosquito control on us. So they're knocking on my door, and then they go into all my ponds, and they want to stick this little like cup on a stick to check the water if it has any larvae in it. And they're going into each one. And I'm like, that's not good cross-contamination processes. Like, I don't know where you've been with that thing all day. And they didn't find anything. And then all my ponds where I was worried about mosquito larvae, I had mosquito fish in it. So I kind of made the guy like, hey, man, you need any mosquito fish, you let me know. And when they knocked on the door the following year, I was like, oh, you guys need some mosquito fish. And they're like, what are you talking about? Because it was a different guy. I was like, oh, I said the next time you guys need some mosquito fish, let me know. And then the guy was just like confused as can be. And he's like, no, I'm here to check. And I was like, no, there's nothing to check, man. There's mosquito fish ponds out there. If you need some mosquito fish, but why are you going to check for mosquitoes in mosquito fish ponds? So the guy turned away and they never came back. But
well, that's good.
yeah, the neighbors are a nuisance. Just in the 2-story house.
I can tell you, when hobbyists have to talk to like government officials when they show up to it, I can only imagine how weird we sound to them when we get so excited about like little fish and stuff with based on what their day job is, where like they're visiting like big agriculture farms and like
I don't know. I hang out with a lot of like government people, like fishery biologists.
Oh, I have fun conversations
like that. They're cool people. They enjoy the hobby. They understand. There's the people that I guess are a little different, are like the FWC officers and stuff like that you run
That's
into.
who I was going to bring up, but you didn't give me a chance.
No,
So
those are a different breed.
Yeah.
Shelby and we live right next to a federal wildlife officer, and like we ride our bikes a lot, and I'm just waiting for like the day to like catch him outside, and I can be like, hey, you mind if I ask you a couple questions? You know, like
You need to interview him for your channel, man. You need to that'd be a good. I'd watch that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we got several questions.
Yeah,
I saw this.
interview him
I
like
know what we can get away with, like what they
interview him like Black Mask, like voice box change style. You know, like how they interview ex-terrorists and stuff.
Yeah, but then people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's not really a wildlife guy. I need a guy that'll confess his badge number and stuff like that." Because the terror
he'll be
is a
doxxed.
real big thing, and it doesn't even seem like it's Fish and Wildlife that's after changing the laws. It's the PETA and the.
It's
you know what I
lobbyists.
mean?
It's lobbyists. It's
Yeah.
always lobbyists, bro. It's PETA's dumping millions of dollars into trying to stop something that they believe is wrong. It's just like everybody else and anything else political. It comes down to money and lobbyists. It is what it is. But you got to look at the pet industry too, like the industry that's actually battling it. So you just have PETA that's supporting it with their millions of dollars, but you have a whole pet industry battling it, a billions of dollar pet industry battling it. So, I mean, it stands a good chance of flipping things around. It really does.
Yeah.
I have hope for things being flipped around because where there's lobbyists on one side, there's lobbyists on the other side. And there's more money on the other side in this instance. So
I just feel great when Seagrass Farms is on our side because they're such a massive industry. They're part of the industry. And like when you think about them shipping out more boxes through UPS than any other company in the world, that is just crazy. I'm sure if Amazon switched over to UPS only, they would crush them. But Amazon uses mostly USPS. So
and their own drivers. Amazon has their own fleet of people, you know.
But like just losing that for UPS could cause them to go bankrupt. Like that is a huge part of their income and their logistics system overall. Like you probably think that they're sending out an airplane cargo just from Seagrass Farms and probably filling in a couple gaps on the plane with other goods to make other, you know, overnight packages make their travels and stuff like that. So not only that, but like Sandy is their
Sandy's amazing. She's great people.
Yeah, and you know, she's behind it and she's going to Washington and battling these things head on. So just having those people behind it, I feel pretty confident, but I'm still going to do my part. I'm sharing the petitions and trying to get people out there.
Hey, let's get the petition put up on the live stream too. Why not?
It's change.org, I believe. Don't quote me on that. If somebody else
moderators do that,
change.org, but there's a specific one.
So if you could go to usark.com or .org or .net. I can't remember which one it is. It is the United States of America Reptile Keepers. They're really heading the efforts in the fight to help pet keepers, not just reptile keepers. It's right there. You just pass it. It's this one right here. It's at change.org. So you guys can go ahead. If you're in the Florida state, you can sign that petition and get that taken care of. If you're not in the state, maybe you can share it on our Facebook. And, oh, that's a big ass thing. All right.
There you go.
Twice.
Found at change.org. But if you're out of state and you can share it to your Florida friends, that'd be much appreciated. Because the problem is if something happens in Florida, it could be a domino effect to happen in the rest of the United States. So Florida first, then, you know, Texas, and so on and so on. So
yeah, it'll trickle down into any of the regions where these fish or reptiles are being found. So, so Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, all those places are going to get hit with it the same way if it stays around. So hopefully it won't. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
You can do it.
So no airplanes either. I was just about to say let's go to the comments. Yeah. Nope, no airplanes, man. No airplanes.
And turn Chance into a Lake Malaria biotope.
That's what it'll be, man. It's gonna be like Resident Evil though, because like I'm close to Scripps Research Center, so like they're probably releasing like mutant mosquitoes out, and they're gonna bite me, and I'm gonna turn into some damn zombie. Not on my watch.
Tim said, I have a 90-gallon cube looking to put nanofish and shrimp and looking for ideas for scaping. Any thoughts?
A cube or cubes are fun. Cubes
Yeah,
are cubes are interesting.
90.
So how deep is that? How tall is that? Can you give us some more measurements? Because I mean, I guess I could do the math if I really wanted to. But could you
I
just
think
tell me
it's
how
3
tall?
feet by 3 feet by 3 feet.
That was my 60-gallon.
Is it? So I mean, it'd be at least 4 feet.
I'm thinking the height might be a little higher, but then it's not really a cube.
Yeah.
Maybe it is 36 by 36 by 36.
I think it's 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot.
With nano shrimp and fish, with that, if you want to build it up from the back forward and not have a lot of like small gaps in your rock work, because you'll never see some species and stuff like that.
It's a 30
30 by 30 by 30. Okay, cool. My math was way off.
So
So
I just assumed a 55-gallon tank's 4 foot long. Be close.
I've always wanted to, if you can plumb it right and get the filter right, again, like spending time in like nature, doing like a stump from underwater to above water and then planting the top of the stump, like if you can actually scape it out right. But I don't know how you would plumb it without actually getting into the tank and like drilling it and stuff like that to make it look right. But
You could always hide the filters in the back with some nice foreground plants, like what Shelby did in her tank.
I would want to be able to walk around it, like what George Farmer had at Aquashella. Like I'd want to be able to walk around it. George Farmer's tank with Aquashella is one of my goal tanks to kind of replicate here soon too. I'm putting the Aquashella tank that I got at the foot of my bed, to where it'll be visible from all angles of my room. I'm gonna drill it here soon so I can plumb it from the bottom, similar to the tank that he used. So that way I can have everything hidden as far as plumbing goes, and I can do a full-on 360 scape on it. So we'll see.
That's the fluval tank you got. You're drilling that from the bottom.
Yeah.
That's nice. And how's it going, Garcia Aquatics?
What's up?
And
Brian's gonna break his glass real quick.
Nah, I'm good.
You got your sandbags ready? Placement would only have 3 sides viewed. You could do like a cove of a mountain, like the side of a hill or anything along those lines. So if you wanted to do rock work, I mean, it all depends on your goal. Or you could do a diorama style scape. You know, it's a cube, so that gives you a box to work in. So you could build a full-on, diorama world and only have one view to look into if you really wanted to. If the 3 view was necessary, then you could do the good old sticks and stones nature scape. That's always a winner, where you just have like a pile of stones and sticks and Java fern. But yeah, I mean,
It depends, and a lot of that depends. So I have a cube in my saltwater, and when I was doing my scape on that, my main viewing angle was like basically from the corner. So I wanted my scape to be back more into that one side. So the only thing I'd really recommend on doing a scape with a cube, especially if you want the viewing sides to be 3-sided, like you walk around it and stuff like that. Either you really want to have your scape being higher in the middle of the tank or the center of the tank versus on the sides and having it valley in the middle. Cubes, you can do really cool things with valleys, But if you want to see it from the sides, you're going to have a lot of ugliness and just substrate, and fill area that'll be visible to from the side. So with cubes, I usually like to I like to keep it more in the center of the tank as far as doing you can do like an island type of scape or something like that.
That's what I was going to recommend. I was going to say you can go safe and easy and do the island scape and just keep everything central with a nice big old piece of spider wood coming out of the top of the tank. And you can really just pick your stone, depending on what kind of shrimp with the stone. I didn't really go into it. Everybody using the Cirrus stone, it's really not that big of an issue unless you're trying to breed Caridina shrimp, because Chance mentioned it does leach a little bit of KH into the water. So if you're going like 7 days without doing a water change and your KH raises to 1 or 2 and your female decides to release eggs and your KH is at 1 or 2, those babies are not going to be able to molt and they're going to pass away. So your baby survival rate with those rocks are going to go way down with the Cirrus stone or mountain stone. But there's many different options if you want to go that route. But if you're just doing Neocaridina, really the sky's the limit with your Cirrus stone. You don't have to worry about it, or a non-inert stone. Back to you, Brian. Sorry.
No, you're good. Well, and that's
what I wanted to talk on. So I was like, nah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's one of those things. Like, especially if you're not really a scaper, I always start. I would suggest going and finding a good centerpiece type of either piece of wood or group of stones that you can build around. That it's so much easier when you enjoy your tank than spending your time trying to plan your tank. Trust me. But yeah, when it comes to starting off and trying to figure out like big scapes and stuff like that, usually finding the big centerpiece that you like is the way to go with that.
I'm gonna try to pull up a picture of my cube that I did a while back.
And Jamie said, "You want to read it?"
Rubber boot and center with a planted crypt in it.
There you go. There you go.
What kind of crypt would you use, Shelby?
Me?
Yeah. You look bored over there. You need to fight for your mic position.
I would use Cryptocorn spiralis just because I think that thing is beautiful. I love it so much. And it kind of looked like there's a snake in my boot.
There's a snake in my boot.
Tim said, I know options are infinite, but greatly appreciate the helpful tips. Definitely new to scaping.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
That's
scaping.
why we're here, and we would love to see the process. Sorry, Chance, but Tim, if you're going through the process and you want to scape the tank and you would like to come up onto one of the lives one night and we could work with you, walk you through it. I don't know if that's something you guys would be willing to do, but I think helping other people build their tanks, that's what we wanted this channel to be all about, was building up the aquascaping presence in the United States and kind of building like a collaborative that we can all work together and build off of and grow our knowledge and skills and really hone them down. And we know other people are watching, like Jamie from Canada, but North America as a whole, we need to get together and show that we have some real passion and skills here as well.
All right, I if I can figure out how to share my screen now. Let's see here. Is it working?
No.
Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm figuring it out here.
There should be a button to share screen.
Nope, I got it. I figured it out.
Jeffrey Brown says I purchased
There we go.
120. See, why does that get its big full screen?
Because I figured it out.
Because I win.
Because I win. So this was my my cube that I did a few years back. Try to find a
No, I remember this one. We actually used this as one of our entries for the first Aquascape contest that we did.
Yeah.
We
So
really had a
it's
lot
just
and this isn't even at its peak, man.
no, this wasn't. No, this is no. So I just did a basic, simple mountain outline in the back, and the plants, you can't really tell from the photographs, so it looked much better, but I couldn't photograph it well. My tank photography has gotten much better, but that's like key too in aquascaping, is making sure you have good tank photography. But it climbs up this hill here, so it's like a chunk out of a hill or a mountain as you're walking up it, and it looked really, really cool. I loved it. I had the Iriocal in Vietnam and stuff like that on the sides, and the Pogostam and Helfrey over here. I wonder if I can find a better, let's see, a more grown in one.
Well, Jamie said, sorry, I'm from Newfoundland and have a thing for rubber boots.
I can tell, man.
Shelby sells a lot of rubber boots.
I have a whole boot wall at work. You
Oh.
would love it.
Oh, man.
Actually, a lot of people think it's the coolest thing ever. It's over 100 boots on just one wall.
We
They're
should
extra tough boots.
we should just
You
buy
know
like
what those are.
a kid rubber boot and send it to Jamie with the stickers. Oh, so
Actually, I might.
our stickers
Three
were
of them.
shipped today. They are delayed for whatever reason. We will be getting them Friday, so everyone's member package will probably go out
Monday.
Monday.
Is that the better one? No.
You can read.
No.
Dane
Oh well.
said this was one I wanted to hear from the start, but now I'm here, so please proceed with all positive comments about me.
Hi.
Well,
Duckweed.
We didn't realize that Jason had posted the video of your house. So if you guys haven't seen Dane's impressive barb breeding skills, Jason
Nice.
from Primetime Aquatics did a video over at his house with that. And that was posted like 2 days ago. We've been just super busy around the house trying to get things done.
I haven't seen it either, but are you having any luck with Denison barbs at all? Denison barbs are awesome.
Maybe Dane can comment about that. But
I was asking
I don't
Dane.
think so.
Grant's like, I might pick the ponds. I can
We
see
got a
it.
lot of fish stuff going on. I don't think you know about. We got a couple babies here and there.
All right.
News for today: there were baby sunburst mollies.
Nice.
So those are one of my favorites outside for right now.
I'll have to get Eric on the live chat from Chroma Guppies. He's the guy who's doing the fish thing for Aquascape. He's got a lot of cool things set up at his place, so you guys can see
Is
his
that
like.
the guy we talked about last time? And I sold him some plants recently.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll have to do the stream over at his place one night, and we can do like a tour through what he has going on. It's really cool. It's like a hobbyist little nook, because he has like all sorts of different stuff going on throughout his yard. It's really cool.
And the post you shared about in the live in the group chat the other day, did you know that guy released 150 ladybugs in his house?
I would probably watch that video too.
That same guy. Did you know about that?
What's wrong with that?
No, he can't find any of them now. So like the next post I saw like was the same picture, and then he's like, I released 150 ladybugs, but I haven't seen it.
Aw.
So there's been a trend of people buying ladybugs offline for their gardens. And this one person commented and said, we have a whole gardeners association in our block. So all 30 of our neighbors get together, buy these ladybugs every year, release them, and they never see them again.
Yeah, if you release them outside, of course. Like,
And I was
that's
like,
so
I want to
funny.
do that so bad. That'd be so cool. And I'm like, I know in 2 days I'll never see one again, and I'll be sad that I did it.
I release them in my greenhouse, and I see them as long as there is food for them to eat. So it's just like any other fauna. Like if their food source isn't there and you're not feeding them, guess what? You know?
We love it.
There are other
I love
options
our house,
dying.
man. I'll find a ladybug in the house probably once a month, and
Nice.
I see them outside in the grow bed. They eat the aphids off the Anubias.
Yeah.
I actually have a TikTok where it's on top of one, and I was trying to get it zoomed in of it eating the aphids. There's one video that's going around right now where it's just a ladybug just grabbing them off the stalk like snacks, and it
Yeah,
looks so cool. And I couldn't get. My issue is I got the shade cloth outside, and I need a lot of light to get really good focus like that. So
Yeah.
a little rough.
Nothing.
Biological pest control is like the best, man.
People made a post about ladybugs being so beautiful, and then it zooms in and it's like them just like ripping aphids apart, and they're like, this is actually what they're like. They're just ripping them apart.
The craziest thing is Layla loves ladybugs now, but when she was a baby, our first trip to the aquatic experience in Chicago at the Renaissance, there was ladybugs on like the 16th floor or
Not
whatever
just
we were
a
on.
little.
Is that the one you fell in the pond?
No, that was Dallas.
That's okay.
But there was ladybugs at the top floor. Like
In
it
the
was
hotel.
crazy. And Layla was freaking out because of them. She loves them now, but like it
She
was
wouldn't go to our
it's
room.
hilarious.
We were at the very last room. The window had literally hundreds of ladybugs all crawling on the window. There's no like, I don't know how they got in. It's a sealed window that you can't get in and out. So there had to be like a tiny hole they're crawling through.
Somebody released
Hundreds
them
of
in
them.
the hotel to take care of the aphid problem. Plants. They just all went to that. Yeah, but they were there the next year in just a lower amount of numbers. So,
That's crazy.
is there a?
Is there a stone that looks like Sirius stone without the cage leaching? The only thing I could think of possibly fake rock.
I got something. I don't know the name of the rock, but I have something. It's not. It doesn't look just like
I know.
Siru.
Go ahead.
I got stuff, bro. I got lots of stuff. Only thing is it's not gray. It's more green colored, but it's really cool.
Serpentine?
No, serpentine's what I got behind me.
Ah,
But that doesn't affect KH either. It's an
Right.
but
I
no,
think the
it,
color is kind of hand in hand with KH going up in leaching.
I'll give you. Well, it's the carbonate. It's calcium carbonate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the white. It's the
Yeah.
light chalky stone. It's not the white quartz. It's not the veining. It's the
I
light
know.
chalky stone. No, I know. I know you do.
yeah.
I'm just explaining. It's all good. But yeah. So it's really cool stone, and it has veination in it. It's awesome. Next episode, I'll snag some. I don't have any on me. It's Cassandra's stone, so I have to go steal out of her stash. She won't notice. So,
Jamie says he's going to do a small return package for you guys of some Canada.
what are we getting from Canadian?
I don't know. At first, when I read it, I thought he was saying of some Canadians, and I'm like, we need help, but
Is
I don't
that
think
slang
they'll
for
be like
cannabis,
slave
Dave?
labor.
Are you going to send us some Canadian cannabis through the mail?
Who was joking about
That sounds illegal.
Oh,
Canadian? No.
I can't remember his name. No,
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be an
No,
ass.
it's not him. His name was Derek. I can't remember his last name, but he was not Polish, maybe Polish.
Be seaweed, please. Yeah, actually. I mean, I was totally, I'm down for it. Just
No.
fake name. Don't make me sign for it.
Are you gonna read? Or are you
No,
gonna?
it said
I
your
thought Brian.
I'm
Thanks.
reading it quietly. So, haha, thanks, Grant. Unfortunately, just barbs for now, but Denison barbs would be a huge success for me. Certainly looking forward how to do so. Chance, I have some crypts for you to identify. That's how I'm going to read all the comments if you ever make me read comments.
Oh,
Hey, keep doing it that way, and you might be the official comment reader.
I'll have fun with it.
and then Shelby's not gonna have anything to do, and she's just be like, I don't know why I'm even there. I'm be like, you keep everything.
You're welcome.
together.
You're welcome to read them. I was just having fun.
You're there to tell Grant to shut up.
Send me the pictures if you have me on Facebook or whatever. Send me the pictures on Messenger. I'll identify them. I'll try.
So same with praying mantis.
Yeah, I want to get some praying mantis, but I'm afraid Shelby will take them from me. So
Shelby, you should get praying mantis.
not until she takes care of her isopods.
I'm just gonna feed the isopods to the praying mantis now.
Oh.
And then take over those, and then before you know it, we're gonna have 50,000 isopods.
And I don't doubt you.
Moose poop and seal meat, eh?
Or just
Oh,
some
you
maple
you
syrup.
stop it, you hoser. Some maple syrup.
And then, so another thing that's happening is this weekend is Repticon
Repticon.
in Tampa. We'll be heading there on Sunday, and I need some bulbs for the turtles, but Layla's birthday is next month, and she desperately has been asking for chameleons, and it's something that both of us want as well. Like, I think Shelby's begging for a blue bee. So we'll probably get her a blue bee, and then let Layla pick out whatever one she wants.
So the question on the
Blue
screen.
nosy bee. I'm sorry.
My birthday's next month too.
Happy birthday
Next month.
next month. So the question on the screen, there's lots of different types of quartz. So there's like lots and lots of different types of quartz. There's a few that I know are safe. So there's like jasper, and I'm trying to think of the other one. I can't think of the other one right now, but I know there's one called jasper. It's a type of quartz. I know that one's safe. That's like your most common tumbled quartz that you see in stores and stuff like that. That stuff's safe. But I know, I'm pretty sure rose quartz is as well. But I think it also there's one quartz that you got to watch out for that does like leach some nasty stuff. I just don't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
So I believe the quartz itself is going to be safe, but the problem is quartz is generally with more than one mineral. So it's like if the quartz is with limestone or something like that, it can definitely be an issue. But if it's on an inert rock, then it should be fine.
Yep.
I would say that the quartz, most of the time, when you put it into a tank, after time, the pressure of the water actually corrects the quartz. So if you put it in the tank, make sure it's not something you really, really like. I had glass jellyfish that the paperweight glass jellyfish. I put those into tanks, and they cracked the pressure of being in a tank. I mean, it took like 4 years of being in a tank, but yeah, it's split right down the middle. So you just got to be careful with some of it. If it's a really like unique piece, I would not put it in there. Just plain white quartz would probably be fine.
Is that a lifesaver?
No, it's a cream saver.
That's what I said. It's by Lifesaver though.
Dude, they're the best. This is the best candy.
I know.
Ever. Do you know where I have to go to? I have to go to Michael's to get these, dude. Michael's is the only store that I know that sells these things.
Online now they do.
I ate so many of those as a kid, they started to taste like fish sauce. So,
dude, I cram like 3 or 4 in my mouth at a time. I love these things.
And then we got another Canadian mountain.
Maybe we can get our stream sponsored by Cream Savers.
Brian's dying back there.
Brian has emphysema.
And then Dane said I should be around all day Sunday if the Eater family wants to visit. I'm just 2 miles away from the fairgrounds. So that's a possibility. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
He's really just trying to get me to take a duck home.
No, I do not.
Not you. Dylan. Dylan just wants a duck.
I mean, do you have mallard ducks? I think
No, we already asked that.
No, I said mandarin. Mandarin
No.
duck is what I want. I don't know if he has a mallard duck. We live, you know, in the Mallard area.
People know our street. There's 100 of Mallard streets. Liquid ferts. What do you guys recommend for lightly planted and heavy planted?
I'll let you handle this one, Chance.
So Thrive is a good liquid fert, but that's if you're doing like heavily planted, like Thrive Plus is a good one. I have been really fond of APT line though by 2 Hour Aquarist, made by Dennis Wong or Xiaosheng Wang. It's been my only liquid fert I've used in the last 3 years, but before that I used Thrive. I don't use any liquid ferts now. I mix my own liquid ferts, so like that's the route I would actually recommend is just learning yourself, getting the salts, the individual salts, and making your own liquid ferts. It's real easy, and you can cater your fert to what your tank is doing. Because even Dennis's fert, it's kind of a one-size-fits-all solution to fertilization, just like every other all-in-one or liquid fert. And if you've ever worn one-size-fits-all pants, they don't really fit that well. I mean, they get the job done. They cover things up and allow you to go out in public and look decent. But you could get like custom fitted slacks with like Armani suit jacket going on if you start crafting your own fert brew up. So that's the best analogy I can think of. Not to knock all-in-ones. They do their job. They look great, but you can really, dial things in better with your own recipe.
We used I actually helped Colin develop the shrimp safe version of Thrive, the Thrive S. So that's what we were using in our shrimp tanks when we did fertilize. And I've used the regular Thrive and the Thrive Plus as well.
Nice. Yeah, all the APT stuff is shrimp safe too. So even as an EI line, he has an EI line that's shrimp safe. So it's good stuff.
Hello, Lonnie.
How's it going?
Hello.
Well, where'd Brian go? Is he busy doing something, or?
No, I'm right here.
He's
I was
just,
looking at my scape.
he's just gonna do the stream from over here, like just off screen.
No, I was looking at my scape to see what thinking.
Just taking a step back.
But I agree. Learn how to mix your own fertilizers. Saves you a lot of money.
Saves you a lot of money, and I mean, if you are curtailing your tank to certain plant species, you can really, really dial it in, and make that species thrive.
So
different plants, different demands. So
yeah, so that's one of the cool things about even the hobby in general is if you actually take it as like an actual science experiment in your tanks and learn it and try to learn more than just the basics, it kind of leads into like your overall worldview and your understanding of the world. So it's your hobby, and if you enjoy it, learn as much as you can about it, and especially learning like individual ferts and how they affect things and stuff like that. You'll be reading, or seeing things about, in the news and stuff, and you'll have a better understanding of it. So.
And we got a question for Chance.
do you want to read it, Shelby?
Hey, Chance, have you ever had
Blue-green algae.
Oh, blue-green algae on any immersed plants? I don't know to get rid of this stuff. It's stuck on my Anubis white? What is it?
Ludwigia white.
Oh.
Yeah, I've dealt with it before. So cyano or BGA can be treated the same way you can treat it in an aquarium. You can use that same stuff, the slime away. You just mix it up in a bottle that you would water with, or even better to mix it up in a spray bottle so you can get a mist. You can do like a 2 times or concentration of what it says to do too. It's what you'll probably have to do unless you use like a big pump sprayer. But do the math. But I wouldn't go more than like 2 to 3 times more, because because it does get kind of chalky if you get it misted on the tops of your plants, but try to keep it only on the BGA that you see where the staining is. Go ahead and treat it. It's going to smell like total ass for a day or two, and then it'll just go away. Don't use peroxide, because peroxide will also damage your plants. Peroxide is used as an herbicide down here. It's actually used to kill the pistillas and water lettuce and water hyacinth that I was talking to you about earlier. It's one of the chemicals that they can't form an immunity to, actually, too, because it does cellular damage, not like most of the glyphosates and stuff like that, where it just like causes the plant to stop uptaking nutrients. The peroxide actually like fries it out. It does the same thing to BGA, but stick with that slime away or the BGA away. I can't remember what the hell the name of it's called. I'm pretty sure it's slime away.
Red slime remover or slime.
Yeah, red slime remover or blue slime remover or something like that. I'll try to find a picture of it here while we're doing our thing, and I'll share it on the screen. But just do that, mix it up in a spray bottle and treat it at the base.
Yeah, I want to make a comment on the hydrogen peroxide too. So they're actually starting to use that instead of chlorine, and a lot of like to clean the bacteria and stuff like that off of the lines, like city water and stuff like that. So it has certain usage in the aquarium side. I think that if it's more about using a little bit at a time, targeted in that area, but you definitely mess with your biologicals when you start using hydrogen peroxide as a cure-all, or you cause a lot of problems with the if you're trying to use it to treat cyanobacteria. And I know it's a common thing. I did it for years. Yeah,
I mean, even using it for BBA, you're only putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole at that point, because BBA is coming from a bacterial imbalancement in your filter, or flow issue. There's a couple different causes of it, but either way, you're treating something. You're treating a symptom instead of actually looking into the cause. And if you keep doing that too much, it's like taking an antibiotic for a cold too much. You're going to kill your immune system. You're going to blow your bio load of your tank. So you don't really want to do that. But here is the stuff that I use to treat cyano, if I can get it to be pulled up.
Look at him off sharing screens and stuff.
There you go. So that's what I use. It's on sale right now. So I would probably buy like 2. But that's good stuff. If you're growing immersed plants, it does well. If you, like I said, you mix it in a spray bottle and just mist it on the targets where they are. Again, try not to get it on the plant. It's unnecessary to spray the plant with it. And make sure that it's necessary. A lot of times BGA isn't really harmful to the plants, but if you notice that it's doing damage to the plants or it's spreading at a rapid rate, then treat it. Because BGA is a part of the ecosystem, Yeah. So if it's not growing rampant, or if it's staying isolated to one part, leave it be for now. It may even cycle itself out. Like something may come along that eats it and it'll go away on its own, especially in the immersed world. But if it starts to grow rampant and it starts to grow out of control, then knock it back.
All right, this one's for you also, Chance.
How would I determine which fertilizers, test kits? For test kits, I use the Hagen Master Test Kit. It's hard to find. I'll have to find that and show it to you guys too.
I use a Sarah one, so
it's online as well. And as far as ferts go, I mean, my fert journey in this hobby has been a very long one. So I've been dabbling with all sorts of ferts. I'm trying to find that thing real quick. All sorts of ferts for a very, very long time as far as aquatic plants goes. I would just, if you're looking for an answer for that, I would probably dabble around the bar report and start doing some research. But the best way to do it is to mix them yourself, like we were talking before. That's just going to give you the best results. because then you can customize it to what you need. But you really got to pay attention and learn your plants then. But this is the test kit that I would use, or that I do use, rather. So that one there. It was actually the whole reason why I use this one is a guy named Kevin Grant. He has a YouTube channel as well. And he's a awesome dude. Awesome guy. Big time aquascaper and aquarist. But he actually tested that kit against the lab grade kits. And it was the most accurate test kit that's on the aquarium hobby market without getting like a Mott's test kit, or a Lamont test kit rather, which is like $300 just for the nitrate test kit. So if you're gonna blow like big money, you can get lab accurate stuff. But if not, the one that I just had up on the screen is gonna be your best bet in the hobby right now, other than an Aquaspin. But again, that's like dumping some big money again.
And those aren't even that accurate.
No, yeah, it's made by API. So
yeah, I can tell you some stories.
always potentially inaccurate API.
Yeah, I use the Sarah one. It's very similar to the one it is, but the one I have is probably expired, and I probably need to get a new one soon. So,
well, as long as you're expired,
but like I said, I've been doing it so long that I don't really need to test. Like, other than like maybe if I'm setting up a tank, I might test certain things, or if I'm curious about something. But like, I know what my water is, and I know if my maintenance is consistent. Like, I don't really have to worry about testing as much. So,
hey, Chance, what was the link for that test kit? Where did you find that on?
I'm gonna send it to you because I don't know how to comment in the chat.
My phone's dead, so.
All right. How do I comment in the chat?
You put it in private chat, and then I can copy paste it.
Ah, gotcha. Here you go. Boom.
All right. And then also with test kits, we just recently tried the new Fluval test kit, and that takes 20 minutes to test the ammonia.
Oof.
API is like 5 minutes, so the Fluval was like 20 minutes to get one test done. So if you're thinking about test kits, that might be an issue, but they were still very accurate.
So the biggest thing with reagents, which is like the chemicals that we use to test this water, as long as you have a proper like value for your reagents, like a range and a reference, your reagents can be expired up to like 10 years even. And as long as you build a reference point for your reagents, your reagents are fine. And you can even double. So with API test kits, they give you a 5 milliliter test tube. Mm-hmm. Go buy a 10 milliliter test tube and use double the drop amounts, and it'll be a bit more accurate. You can do the same thing with the test kit I just showed you, and you can do the same thing with Lamott's or Sarah, and that's going to increase the water volume, which is going to increase the amount of solvent, which is going to increase the likelihood that your results are accurate, because you're increasing odds all around.
So. Instead of 1 GH at a time, you'll be able to test half a GH at a time. If you double that, then you'd be able to test quarter GH at a time per drop.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Same thing with KH, and that'll help you dial in CO2 and everything else too down the line. So
Dane said, I'd love for y'all to take a duck, but you don't have to. I want to have the kids see all the animals and play on the trampoline. Plus, I need some help planning outdoor neotubs.
So we can definitely help you out with the outdoor neotubs, and I'm sure the kids would love to jump on the trampoline. Sadly, we cannot have one. We've set one up twice, and our insurance catches us every time because of the sinkhole and everything like that. We have a very specific insurance carrier we have to use, and one of the rules is no trampoline. So sadly, we cannot have one of those. So they'll enjoy that. Her dad has a trampoline, and like the first thing the kids do when they get over there is go on it. And then Brandon said, awesome. Thanks, Chance. I've been experimenting with ferts from General Hydroponics and also have springtails in my immerse bins.
General Hydroponics makes really good ferts. They make some good stuff. I take the more organic approach. On my YouTube channel, I show how I build my soils, but most of my nutrients comes from my soil, and I do foliar feeding mixed with a bit of like osmocote stuff. So the hydroponic ferts are nice if you're running an inert substrate, but I ran into issues because I run such a heavily organic substrate, mixing sulfates in the organics. Things got kind of wonky.
So Dane said, Chance, I sent a Facebook message, but I assume you need some specific pics. So I sent some crap ones, but can send what you need if you're willing to help with my crypt ID.
Yeah, I'll take a peek at them and I'll message you if they'll work or not. And if I need more from you, I'll let you know. Well, thank you.
And Crypt Keeper says that's the test kit that he uses, the Nutrifin one. He loves it. So
It's a good one.
yeah, no, it's gonna be one that we're gonna have to get. I didn't like the price of it, $116, but
It tests a lot of different aspects. So
Yeah, and it's a lot of testing.
yeah.
Crypt Keeper said, at Brian, I just got some Aquachar in the mail yesterday from Grant and Shelby. Can't wait to try it out.
Awesome.
Nice.
he also got some Blue Dreams and 3 different types of crypts. So he got some Compacta, some Spiralis, and then a couple mini Parvas.
Nice.
How do you not send the Crypt Keeper some crypts?
Your blue dreams are awesome.
They've exploded. So one of the things I did outside today was, and I've never fed my shrimp algae wafers. As crazy as that may seem, it's never happened. We bought some algae wafers for the plecos inside, and because of the darn tadpoles in some of the ponds, and some of the females are just so massive that they'll grab the pieces of food and just like run into the foliage in the tank. So it's kind of hard to get like a good colony count when the food's all scattered out, especially when we use the Bug Pro. There's no telling how many shrimp are in the pond or the snowflake or anything like that. So I fed the algae wafers, and I had quite some shrimp piles. I was really impressed, and the Blue Dreams are like, there's way more Blue Dreams than I thought was in there.
Brandon asked, what plants do you guys plan on using in the aquascapes?
So Chance kind of went through all the plants that he was going to use on his. Brian, do you want to go through on yours?
I'm a huge fan of ribosome plants, so things that I'm attaching to rocks and things like that. I also like I want to use some Java needle leaf Java fern. I always love. I want to grow out some. What's that?
Lots of epiphytes. Did I say that right, Chance?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
I enjoy growing those out and getting big colonies of those. Yeah, that's gonna be my my go-tos. I'm gonna do some stems and everything like that. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking to Chance about it.
Were there any plants that you didn't mention that you're going to be? Because Brandon, if you're curious what plants Chance is going to go use, you should really hit the replay button and go back, because he kind of like goes through with his phone and points out exactly where each plant's going to be and curves it all out with his hands, and it's quite beautiful. You should go back and check that out if you missed it.
I skipped all the epiphytics and moss though. That's gonna tie it together.
Where are you getting your moss from, huh?
The moss I stole from you at the show. All that Christmas.
yeah.
It out.
Yeah, that's actually my real answer. Is what plants are you gonna use? Whatever Grant and Chance sent me.
Whatever I can get.
The new rack has some moss in certain spots, and like I've already noticed in a couple tanks, I'm like, this moss is already overgrown, and I just set up this rack. Like, what am I gonna do when all 100 tanks all have their own individual moss? I'm gonna have to get a new source or outlet to get rid of some of this moss. But I think eBay, I'll crush it with moss if I just put it up on there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
probably going to be future plans.
I need to start posting some of my abundance of my noob plants up on eBay, like the stuff that I have. I was actually having that conversation today that I need to start prioritizing like what sells versus what doesn't sell, and start looking at real estate.
That's kind of why we focus a little bit more on the Neos. It's almost to where, like, do I care about profit, or do I want to do what I want to do in the hobby? And that's why we set up all the Caradina tanks, is because that's what I want to do. And then all the Neos outside, that kind of funds everything that I'm doing inside. So,
yep, that's kind of where I'm at, man. That's why I grow the terrestrials. It's like, I can flip these terrestrials or grow out these philodendrons and monsteras and sell like 2 or 3 plants, and then justify keeping all this other bullshit.
Well, but like you were saying, like, you've got to do that. You've got to prioritize. Like, well, you have to have 2 faces. You have to have the one where you're doing the customer service, and you got to find the outlets where you sell the plants, where people just want to buy from you because they got a good package from you last time from eBay or wherever you decide to sell from.
Shelby sold.
Yeah, I did the same thing with Aquachar, because when you make it personalized, you got to switch it up a little bit.
Shelby sold $60 worth of Galaxy Pintos to Alan, and I don't remember where we were in Tennessee at the pet store at Aquamarine or something like that. And she's like, "Oh, I already got this and this." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we would have got anyways." But remember, right before we left, you sold $60 worth of shrimp. You could spend a little extra. So she went through and she bought this obsidian.
Oh.
And she's going to set up a hardscape with that. I'm really looking forward to that. But
I bought all of it. I left 1 rock just in case someone wanted it.
I really don't want to mention that she just sold $250 worth of Galaxy Pintos this week. So now she's got even more money to either dip into some fish or something like that. So she really gets whatever she puts into it, she gets back to expand and do what she wants with it. So that's why I really get on her case about the isopods. She could flip all of those and turn them into a new project if she wanted.
Well, what are you guys
not paying me? So
hey, what are you guys gonna do?
Take her out to lunch every day
for the 8 hours I work.
We go to Thai food twice a week, okay? Twice a week, just so she can get her drunken noodles.
Well, what are you guys gonna do with all of your right angle moss money, though?
So we're gonna probably put that towards growing out some more. The more right angle moss.
Your moss has Peyronie's disease.
Though I got to figure out how long it takes to grow 1 centimeter at a time, and I think I'm gonna do some really crazy stuff. Shelby's like, "It's not worth it. It's too much work." I'm like, I think it'd be really cool, and I only have to do it like once and then take pictures, and then every year I could just reshare those pictures.
It'd be good for a nanoscape, like if you got one of those like really small ones, like the 2 ones.
No, I'm talking like pint tank, and just have like a bunch of the moss just squared off and like growing all geometric and whatnot.
Look like some
So Dane said, Grant and Shelby sent my number and messenger. Would love to see you. Would love to have y'all stop by if you're going to Repticon. And thanks, Chance. Appreciate you.
Well,
you're welcome.
It's not 100% sure if we're going to Repticon or not, but it is. We've missed the last couple ones, and I definitely want to make it to this one. So I don't know what Dr. Anthony is referring to there.
You're talking about Chance painting it with his hands.
All right.
And it said, I'm sure he painted a wonderful picture is what Brandon
all
said.
Right.
You're lost in your own conversation.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm getting tired. I am constantly tired. It does not matter what I do. I will always be sleepy. I could probably hibernate. That's how tired I always am for no reason. I actually got a lot of sleep this week, and I'm exhausted, but I don't know if you can tell, a little sunburnt from actually getting out in the sun for the first time in years. Years.
I go to golfing, And I start golfing, and she sends me pictures because golf was like an hour away, and she sends me pictures when I first get there, and they're at the beach. So then I message her when I'm on my way home, and she sends me another picture of them at the beach, and I'm going, "You're still there? Y'all are coming home lobsters."
The kids were great. I put on mineral sunscreen 4 times during the day. I put some on my shoulders, and that's the only spot I didn't get burned.
Crypt Keeper said, "By the way, Grant, kind of hate you for the Facebook Moss post. Thought you were trolling, but then Brian starts backing you up." Yeah, so like when I first made the post, Shelby and Chance make laughing emojis, and I'm like, man, if the 2 closest people to me are laughing about it, that doesn't give anybody else a chance to even think like, oh, is that serious? I was like hoping like, ooh, a surprise emoji or a like or something like that, get the post out there, and then you know what I mean, we can reel in some bait, but like, oh man, we did get a couple hook lines.
You got some people on there. It was funny.
Yeah.
it was good old fun.
And the staircase moss will be next. I think that one's gonna have to charge double.
Yeah.
What's that metal called? A bismuth moss is what you should call it.
Dude, make labyrinth moss, so like the whole front of your tank is a maze.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, I want to make something really, really crazy looking.
Make a labyrinth and have your shrimp race it.
So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out how many days in between that I have to rotate it to get like a solid 1 centimeter piece. So then I can start doing them out like that. But I've got like 6 different tanks of that moss, so I can do quite a few different things with it.
It'd be fun to play around with and see what's up.
And then cut me some slack. I was half asleep when I saw it. Yeah, no worries, man. It would have been better like if I had posted it on April Fool's, but
You can still do it again.
Good night, man.
People forget nowadays.
I can make triangle moss. Mm-hmm.
You could. Isosceles triangle moss.
Oh, or a cute.
There you go.
How about that? Good night, Jeffrey Brown. Have a good night, man. And then I admit it publicly. You got me. I ain't afraid to say it. And it's all for good laughs. We got quite a few things. I think if we seriously had like a skate off or something like that, and we found like a boot or found a rock that looked like a boot, how about that? I think that would be great.
Hey, maybe that's what should be a competition for us. Try to find like a small, like random thing to skate.
Try to create like a turtle or something.
Yeah, like that. Find some way to integrate like something random into like a small like 5-gallon tank or something like that.
You know what I would like to see is those people that make those really cool figurines out of driftwood.
Yeah.
Creating like something that goes into like a naturalistic aquascape or something like that. And then you're like, did they do that or did they not do that? I want it that close.
Well, see, and that's where the hobby's going to end up going. Is people are going to start just making their. Well, it's already started going there on the competition side. Is people are just making what they want, what they can draw on a piece of paper, and they aren't using like actual stones and stuff like that. It's like 90% foam, and they get these overhangs that are.
I'm talking the ones that are made out of real wood, though. Those people have.
Those are pretty good. Well,
piles of wood to go through, though.
Well, I'm starting to dork around with mortar.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't blame anybody. It's your art, so I don't care what your trade secrets are.
Yeah, that's just it. It is exactly. I mean, that's kind of how I started to treat it. Like I don't like naturescapes to begin with. Like honestly, growing up, and Grant, I mean, you could relate too. Growing up, going to the springs so much and living in swamps and everything, like. I've seen naturescapes. I've lived naturescapes. You can't replicate what I've seen, no matter how hard you try. Oh yeah. So like, I like to live in a little bit of fantasy world. I like to take the micro and blow it up and see what it looks like.
two styles of scape really catch my eye are the Dutch scapes that are done really well and really nice, and then the crazy dioramas.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same here, man. And Brazilian and like the Brazilian Indo hybrid scapes, like those are awesome.
Those blow my mind, but they make custom tanks for most of those scapes. Like they're super long anyways, usually, right?
Always
Depends. Usually,
I'll have to look in the book because I want to say when I was looking
Luca Galerba, Luca uses the same size tank that I have behind me, 120p.
Oh no, some of those guys are absolutely like I look at the dimensions and I said there's no way that's the size of the tank they're using. You know, it blows my mind.
It's scaling, man. Scaling and light.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing. Shadows, shadows play so much. Like I was doing it today. We had an epic sunset today, and I was staring out at the clouds, and just the clouds, like the depth of the clouds of actually staring down as they peeled back was like freaking crazy. But like it was an amazing study on light because you could see like why it looked the way it looked in relation to where the sun was. Like you could totally see why it was just by focusing on the clouds and the sunset. So it was a cool thing. And then like I thought I took a picture of it and I was like, you just turn it upside down and you make it escape. You know what I mean? Like it's really inspiration's everywhere. It doesn't have to be a pile of sticks and stones in a stream somewhere.
All right, so last comment before we call it an end. I'm not big on the Dutch aquascapes. Appreciate what it takes to create, just not something I'd want to have personally. I think that's kind of why I like them so much, is it's not something I'm like wanting to go out and do or accomplish myself, like at least not anytime soon. I feel like when I'm old and I don't want to lift rocks and move around tanks and stuff like that, like I'll go into a heavy Dutch style tank. But
so much work.
Not yet.
So Dutch tanks are probably the most difficult aquascapes to do as far as discipline and time and maintenance.
Right.
It is these
and
Dutch
then
artists.
follow the rules.
And then you have to follow the rules. These Dutch artists are in their tanks every day, probably for like 4 to 5 hours a day, the whole time up until they take that picture. Dutch tanks aren't something you can set and forget. It's like it's a religion. Like harder. It's harder than a religion. Like religion's easy to fake. This is Dutch tanks are the real deal. In my opinion.
Yeah, when you look at what they have to do there, like it just, and again, they know exactly how fast each one of them grows per day. Like and have a trimming schedule by section that they can do. It's amazing how in tune they get with their plants.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to give the recap, Jamie. I'll let Brian do it.
Brian, recap.
What's that?
No, you're just kidding. That's going to be all for tonight, guys. You can catch us next week for episode 4. That's going to be over on Chance's channel. You can find his channel searching Chance Kramer, and you can check out our past episodes as well. Even episodes on his channel, odd episodes on us. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Shelby, you want to say any last final words?
Thanks for watching.
And then Brian?
I'm good. See you guys.
Chance?
No.
All right. Thanks to all our moderators and everybody watching. And until next time, have a good night, everybody.
Good.